Is not dating trans women transphobic? Yeah, it definitely can be. When someone says they're just not attracted to trans women, I feel like they're not saying what they're actually trying to say, because I feel like that's impossible to be true. Because whether you want to admit it or not, there are trans women on this earth who are significantly more attractive than the vast majority of cis women.
If you exclude trans people from your possible dating pool because they're trans, that is transphobia.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and back to a brand new reaction video. So in today's reaction video, we are going to be looking at a clip that I found online on Instagram of a trans identifying man proudly talking about how he likes to embellish the truth when it comes to dating men, straight men, and how he doesn't like to reveal pretty much who he really is, and explains a situation where they try to fool a straight man and almost, well, I'll let them explain. Let's watch this video together, analyze it, and then discuss. Here we go.
I'm transgender. I look good. I look sexy. I look fine. I don't think it's gay that a straight man messes with a trans. I have dudes that know and take me out, take me to dinner, even here in Miami. The dangers of not telling is getting your head blown off. One time I didn't tell, and that situation was definitely crazy. There was this dude I was fascinated about, right? I knew he worked at this certain club. He was like a big guy at the club, whatever. Street turned educated.
He was straight? Or like,
oh yeah, he definitely had girls. So things started progressing really fast. I was getting drinks. Next thing you know, I'm too drunk to drive. And so he was like, I'll take you home. We got in the truck. We went to his house. We go upstairs. Going to the bed. We get to the business. I'm over here like trying to act like I don't want to do nothing. And it's like, the thing is, when you don't tell him, you just hope and hope until like when it comes to that point that he accepts it, he got to touch it and feeling and notice certain things. And I was like, oh Lord, here it is. And instantly like snap. And he goes to his back room and grabs like a AK or something. He put an AK-47 to my hand. He's like, why should I blow your head off right now? Why should I blow your head off? Like, I'm literally like, am I gonna die today? I finally get him to calm down. And so he calms down. He's like, you know what? And I'm like, yeah. He goes to the back room, puts the gun away. He's like, let's just do it.
Wow.
Oh shit! Welcome to Miami.
I'm disgusted. Disgusted. First of all, why would you play with your own life that way? Please tell me. Why would you try to fool anybody into sleeping with you and being intimate with you when you've yet to tell that person exactly who you are? And hate to break the news to you, dude, but if a straight man is down to get with you, they are not straight, period. Post or pre-op surgery, they're not straight because they're laying down with a biological man, and that's just the truth. Stop trying to recreate reality to fit your version of reality. That's number one. Number two, to try and trick a man into bed is so incredibly dangerous because, again, you don't know who you're laying in bed with. Now, that guy grabbed an AK-47 and put it to your head. Now, what would have happened if he pulled the trigger? Like, you don't know a person's stability. You don't know what line they're willing to cross in the midst of anger. You don't know exactly who that person is, and you're playing with your life? For what? Are we this delusional? Are we this obsessed with being affirmed that we're willing to try and trick just so we can feel affirmed? And then when you get your ass beat, or worse, the world wants to cry about it and say, oh my God, how horrible, how transphobic, how disgusting, look at what happened. But nobody wants to talk about the other parts that led to the behavior, to the actions. You literally try to manipulate and catfish a man into bed with you. God knows what your plan was, because clearly if you got twigs and berries, he's gonna find out. And in this case, he found out. And what's even more gross about this whole story is the fact that you can tell that as he's telling the story, he feels like he somehow conquered something, right? Like he feels like, oh, I gotta win. At the end of the day, the guy wanted to sleep with me, and we did. So therefore, it's okay. But what happens the next time you do that with a man who actually is straight and who is completely angry about you trying to trick him into bed? What happens then? Like, why would you play with fire and expect not to get burned? In what universe, in what reality are you living in? The sad thing is, they're living in 2024. That's the reality. They're living in a world that tells them that your affirmation means everything, that your affirmation is all that matters, and that a person who doesn't affirm you and your identity and your chosen gender, that they are the problem. There literally are people on social media who will make the argument that if you do not want to sleep with somebody of the same sex who identifies as the opposite sex, then you are being transphobic.
If you find out she's trans and you don't want to deal with her, you're like, ugh, gross, you're a man, that's obviously transphobic and obviously very offensive. Your reasoning for not wanting to date a trans person is simply because they are trans. That is, by definition, transphobia. You to say, oh, like, I refuse to date any of this kind of person ever, obviously that's gonna sound problematic whether you mean it like that or not, and I feel like you all know that. You listen to comments like, oh, like, I don't want to date an addict, so does that mean I have a problem with addicts? Like, yes, like clearly you see something in addicts that you don't like. Someone else was like, oh, if I don't want to move into a rat infested house, does that mean I have a problem with rats? Yes. And what's crazy is they're all clutching on to this, oh, you know, it's just a preference.
So let's talk about what is and isn't transphobic when it comes to dating, because a lot of people are getting this confused. So first, if you exclude trans people from your possible dating pool because they're trans, that is transphobia.
Is it different dating a trans girl? Well, this is the first relationship I've ever had with a trans girl. But the differences that I've noticed are
the penis. That's the difference, the penis.
I mean, you cannot tell someone that they must live in your fantasy world, and that if they don't affirm your fantasy world physically and sexually, then they get canceled. They're the problem. That's called manipulation. That's called grooming. That's called being a predator. And it's disgusting. I'm all about honesty and transparency. If you are a trans person and you want to date men who identify as straight, it's in your best interest and in your best health interest to tell that person the truth up front. Hey, just so you know, I know we're talking, we're getting along, but before it goes any further, because I'm getting some good vibes from you, I need you to know something about me. That's it. And you'll be surprised. There are some men that will say, okay, I don't care. And there are other guys that will say, yeah, we're going to cut this short right here. And they'll walk away. And that's their prerogative. That's their right. Don't try to take somebody's right away from them to make a decision for themselves. How dare you try to take that person's control away? Like, you try to take his options away because you were so concerned with yourself in that moment. You were so concerned with being affirmed in that moment. You were so concerned with getting it on with somebody who you were attracted to in that moment, and everything else just didn't matter. And I guarantee you, today's climate is why that person felt emboldened to do that. Because in today's world, there's so much delusional affirmation happening that tells people that what you feel and think is more important than actually what is. And if another human being does not affirm you, whether it be in sex, in sports, in female spaces, if they don't affirm you, then they are the problem, not you. So it's actually not surprising that this person literally felt the need to do this without batting an eye. Because look at the world today. It literally tells people your delusions are all that matter. And it has created an influx of self-centered, narcissistic individuals who are so blinded by their own selfishness that they can't even see what they're doing until it's too late. Then they're the victims. Let me be very clear. If you are a woman who does not want to date another biological woman, if you are a man who does not want to date another biological man, regardless of how that woman or man identifies, that does not make you transphobic. You have every right to have preferences, you have every right to say no, and you have every right to know beforehand who you are laying in bed with. And in my opinion, doing what he did should be a crime. He should be in jail right now for doing that. But in today's world, if you use the wrong pronoun, that'll get you in jail. But trying to catfish a person to have sex with you in bed, not a crime. Welcome to 2024. Guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think of the story. What would you do if you were in this situation? Have you ever heard of this happening to somebody else in your life? If so, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to know. If you enjoy my content, please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit my notification bell so you know when I post a brand new video. And if you guys want to watch more videos of my social commentary, click on the link over here where I have over 100 videos of yours truly. Until next time, peace. Don't catfish.